What's up guys, it's Shazane here, back with another video after a while. I know a lot of you were looking forward to my next update with Jack, the Marmoset. So here it is, and this one is kind of the unexpected costs of having a pet marmoset, or any exotic animal really. Here he is, and you might be wondering, why is he in such a small cage? Well, that is because Jack had a little bit of an accident. He actually broke his leg. So here he is. He's desperate to come out, but I cannot let him, as per the vet's orders. But if you look there, you can see a bandage on his leg, because he actually fractured his femur. Not quite sure how it happened. I kind of just came home. I left him alone for like an hour, and when I came home, he was limping around. I was a little concerned at first. I wasn't really sure what was going on. He wasn't acting like himself. He was being very timid and shy, and not really just like jumping around like he usually was, obviously, probably because he was in a lot of pain. But I thought, maybe it's like, maybe he sprained something and it'll be better by like tomorrow. I'm not trying to like downplay or undermine the severity of my concern for him. Obviously I was worried, but I was just thinking maybe it was like a little temporary injury that would like heal itself overnight. I don't know what I was thinking really. But anyway, so I was like, okay, well, he's just gonna go to sleep. He sleeps in this carrier over here. I don't put him in it. He's just kind of, every time the sun goes down, he just kind of goes in there and goes to sleep. And then the next morning he'll wake up, he'll run out into the loft where I sleep. This is my bedroom, but I don't sleep in here. I sleep out in the loft because the TV is there and I like to have some background noise. Anyway, around 7 a.m. he'll come running under my blankets and start to get all like cuddly and snuggled up for like an hour until he's ready for his breakfast. I was like, yeah, like, okay, tomorrow he's gonna run out, he's gonna be back to normal, and we're gonna be like a nice happy family. But the next morning comes around 7 a.m. nothing, and that's when I start to get like more worried. I came back into my room and he was just in here, just peeping out. You could tell that he was still not himself, still in pain. And that's when I was like, okay, I should probably call the vet. So I went ahead, this was at like 7:30, I called the vet. It was this exotic animal vet in Grapevine, which is like 30 minutes from where I live. And I called them and I was just like, hey, do you work with marmoset? They were like, yeah, we work with marmosets all the time. What's wrong with it? I was like, I think his leg is broken. Can I bring him in for like a checkup? And they were like, yeah, I will get you in for today. We'll do some x-rays and stuff like that. I drove down there and I was really worried because I was looking up some of the reasons as to why it might happen. Obviously, a broken leg was one reason. Some of the other reasons were calcium deficiency, which I don't think he was, because he gets a lot of calcium. And also I feel like that would affect like all of his bones, and it wouldn't be something that just happened like from an hour before to then when I saw him. I left him for an hour and his leg was like completely useless by the time I got back. So I didn't think it was calcium deficiency. One of the things I read was kind of scary. It was like some parasitic thing where I don't know, it just immobilizes them completely. It's like really bad. At the time I had a fruit fly infestation, so I was like beginning to think maybe he ate some of them and they like had eggs inside his stomach, and now they're like eating away at him from the inside. So the x-ray was gonna help like filter out some of this crazy nonsense that was in my head, just thinking of like the worst case scenarios. And then they did the x-rays, and then I got a call from the vet and she was like, yeah, she was like, Jack's fine, first of all, which was like, okay, that's a relief. But and then she's like, but his leg is fractured. I was like, okay, that is not how you word that. Anyway, so I was a little bit concerned at that point, obviously, because the only two options in my mind were surgery or then a cast. And obviously I was leaning more towards like, if he could get healed by wearing a cast, that would be preferable, just because I knew surgery on like such a small exotic animal would probably be really expensive. See what a monkey's x-ray looks like. I'll go ahead and leave it right here for a second. I'm not a medical student, but I looked at the picture and there was like a difference between the right leg and the left leg that was pretty visible. And she was like, yeah, a cast isn't going to work for this. A cast could actually make it worse. It's a distal fracture, which basically means like it actually got like separated at the joint. And he's going to need surgery for this. But she was like, I don't feel comfortable doing the surgery myself because he's so small. I have to see if like a special surgeon can come in with the right tools and pins small enough to even go in his leg. And that's when I started to get more worried, I guess. The concern of money was there in the back of my head. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna cost me like more than $5,000. His x-rays alone and like the checkup and all that stuff cost like $800, and I was like, if that's any indication of what the surgery is gonna cost, it's gonna probably be like 5K plus. But I was like, okay, well, let's just hear what this special vet or surgeon has to say when they come in, and we'll take it from there. Another thing to note about this timeline is that all the while I was in contact with his breeder, I was kind of letting her know what happened, asking her if she had had any experience with this in the past and what sort of her opinion of the best course of action would be. And she claimed that she had a marmoset before that was given to her. Its previous owners did not care for it well, and she said that it was covered in fractures, and that they basically nursed it back to health using just a lot of calcium and a lot of UV light. And over a couple months, he couldn't walk really well, but it was a lot better than how he walked when they got him. And she was kind of like, oh yeah, don't do surgery on him, he's so small, it's kind of excessive. And based on her story with the previous marmoset, she didn't think he needed it, and she was like, the vet is just trying to make some money off of you, obviously it helps them if you get him to have surgery. So I kept on kind of contacting the vet and being like, yo, are you sure a cast won't fix this and stuff like that? And she was like, yes, we're positive, he's gonna need surgery. And then she sent me the x-ray. So what I did was I took the x-ray she sent me and I sent it to my brother, who is almost a doctor. He's got a year left, and I was like, hey, can you look at this and tell me if from a human standpoint, would that leg need surgery? And he looked at it and he said, yeah, it's pretty bad. Displaced fracture typically needs surgery and pins and stuff like that, and other stuff isn't really going to fix it. And then just for some full closure, I sent it to my breeder as well and was like, hey, can you send it to your vet for your monkeys who you trust more, and I guess I trust more, to not really just be thinking about the money and really do what's best for the animal. My breeder, to be fair, was very concerned with the anesthesia part, putting him under. She thought that could potentially kill him, which is a risk, especially when they're so small. That's why she was really against the surgery in the first place. But I sent her the x-ray and she was like, yeah, I'll send it to my vet and let you know. And she did that, and then her vet got back to her and basically said, yes, that looks like it will need surgery to heal. So I was like, okay, at this point, he needs surgery, no matter what. So now the only thing left for me to do, really, Jack, come here. He's a little bummed out that he can't come out. But the only thing left for me to do was to wait for my vet to give me a quote for how much the surgery would cost. And she did that the next morning. It was about $1,800. So altogether, I spent close to $3,000 with the pre-checkup, the x-rays, the anesthesia cost, and then the actual surgery. And that is how they were able to actually fix his leg. It's still recovering. He's gonna need 4 weeks total, I think, before he can walk properly again. As you can see, he doesn't realize this, and he just wants to come out immediately and start playing, and they said specifically to not let that happen. Isn't that right, Jack? You're so cute. So here it is. There is 3 pins now. You can see them right there in his right leg to sort of attach the femur back into where it was and hold it in place. You hear that, Jack? You got 3 pins inside of you. I can't even take you to the airport no more. But yeah, so that is the story of how my marmoset broke his femur and needed surgery. It's just something to keep in mind in case you are considering getting a marmoset or any exotic pet, really, is that vet bills can add up. They add an exotic animal fee onto the vet bill. What is that? It's $100 extra for what? Because other vets won't treat the animal. It's kind of fucked up in my opinion, but I get it. The demand for it with shortage of supplies, just basic economics. That's not even the end of his vet visits. He's gonna have another one at the end of this week where they're actually gonna do another x-ray. Probably gonna run another $500 to $800, and then I don't know, any follow-up visits after that I'm estimating will be $200 probably. And now for the really fun part. I already know I'm going to get a lot of comments saying, oh my God, you're such a bad owner. You shouldn't have let this happen to your animal. Listen, if you have a kid and he goes to school and he breaks his leg at the school playground, does that make you a bad parent? No, absolutely not. Does that make the school a bad place or environment for your kid to be? No. Does that, however, make your kid a dumbass? Yes, exactly. So similarly, Jack is just a little dumbass who was doing dumbass things. And he injured his leg and I had to fix it. And I did. So that'll probably be all for today's video. I just wanted to give a quick update on what has been going on with Jack over here. Also, yeah, a lot of people seem interested in Marmosets because I got a lot of subs from like my few videos with him. And yeah, there's like a lot of people seem to be interested. So I'll try to do like a Q&A of having them as pets, some common things that people might ask. So go ahead, leave some questions in the comments if you want me to address any. If you don't think they should be kept as pets, I don't know what kind of video I'm going to do for you guys. Maybe I'll do one where I release him into the wild over here. I'm sure that would make you guys happy. And then as soon as I let him go, he gets swept up by a hawk and eaten alive. Would that make you happy? Listen, you guys, exotic pet trade is always going to exist whether you like it or not, whether it's regulated or not. The same way as it does with like guns, drugs, and alcohol, okay? The most you can hope for is that it gets into the hands of some responsible people, like myself, who allowed this marmoset to break his leg. No, I'm kidding. But I did do the responsible thing and get his leg fixed. So I don't know. I feel like some people may have just let their monkey limp around for the rest of its life. I'm kind of just rambling on here. So that will be all for today. I'll catch you guys in the next one.